Success doesn't come to the lucky. It comes to those who understand one simple truth. Your mindset determines your reality. If you keep telling yourself you can't, that's exactly what you'll get. But if you choose to tell yourself, I will, then you've just unlocked the first key to success. Here's the truth. If you don't change the way you think, you'll stay stuck in the same place year after year. It's not the world that's holding you back, it's your own mindset. The way you see things, the way you react to challenges, the way you accept excuses. In this video, we're going to shatter the loser mentality that's holding you back. We're going to expose the lies you've been telling yourself, and I'll show you exactly how to replace those lies with the powerful truth of personal responsibility. You'll learn that it's not about waiting for things to change. It's about taking control and making things happen. If you've ever felt like success is just for the lucky few, or like the odds are stacked against you, I'm here to tell you that's a lie. You can change your future, but it starts with a shift in how you think, a shift in what you believe about yourself, your potential, and your ability to take action. You see, there are two kinds of people, those who make excuses and those who make progress. Which one will you be? Stick with me through this video, and I'll show you how to stop making excuses and start making progress, because once you change your mindset, the world will change with you. Let's get started. Number one, mindset is the foundation of success. Rewire your thinking for growth. You know, there comes a time in life when you have to make a choice. A real choice. A choice that changes everything. A choice to stop living like everyone else, to stop thinking like everyone else, and to stop settling for a life you don't even want. Because the truth is, most people don't fail in life because they lack opportunities. They don't fail because they aren't smart enough or talented enough. They fail because they never fix their thinking. They lose before they even start because their own mind is working against them. If your thinking is weak, your life will be weak. If your thinking is full of doubt, your actions will be full of hesitation. If your mind is controlled by fear, your life will be controlled by limitations. This is where most people get stuck. They wonder why nothing is changing. They wonder why they never get ahead. But the truth is, nothing changes outside until something changes inside. You will never see success if your mind is programmed for failure. You will never grow if your thoughts are working against you. Think about the people you know who complain all the time. They say life is unfair. I never get a break. Success is only for lucky people. These are the same people who never take action. They don't try to improve their skills. They don't change their habits. They don't take responsibility. And then they wonder why their life never changes. Listen, if you're waiting for life to change before you change, you're going to be waiting forever. If you're waiting for some miracle to fix everything, it's never going to happen. The only way out is to rewire your thinking for success. Because here's the truth. Every successful person you admire started with one thing, belief. They believed they could be more. They believed they could do more. And because they believed, they acted. Because they acted, they learned. Because they learned, they grew. And because they grew, they succeeded. It all started with the way they thought. You have to train your mind to see opportunities instead of problems, to see lessons instead of failures, to see possibilities instead of limitations. Because if your mindset is weak, your future will be weak. Most people don't realize that their thoughts are shaping their reality. They let their emotions control them. They let fear stop them from taking action. They let doubt talk them out of trying. And over time, that way of thinking becomes normal to them. It becomes automatic. They don't even question it anymore. They just assume this is the way things are. But what if I told you that you are the one shaping your life, whether you realize it or not? What if I told you that every thought, every belief, every excuse you make is either moving you forward or holding you back? Look, you can either train your mind for success or you can let life train it for failure. And let me tell you, life doesn't reward people who sit back and wait. Life doesn't give handouts. It doesn't care if you're tired, if you're scared, or if you don't feel ready. If you don't take control of your mindset, life will take control of it for you. And when that happens, you'll spend your days reacting instead of creating, surviving instead of thriving, existing instead of living. That's the reality most people live in. But you don't have to. You can change it. You can rewire your thinking. And when you do, your entire world will change. So how do you do it? How do you escape the loser mentality and build a mindset that attracts success? It starts with awareness. You need to start paying attention to the way you think. You need to catch yourself when you're making excuses. You need to notice when you're doubting yourself, when you're thinking small, when you're focusing on problems instead of solutions. Because once you become aware of how often you hold yourself back, you can start to change it. The next step is discipline. You need to start replacing those negative thoughts with new ones. You need to start programming your mind to believe in possibilities. That means feeding your brain with things that push you forward. Read books that challenge you. Listen to people who inspire you. Surround yourself with people who are doing better than you. And most importantly, take action. Because if you sit around waiting to feel ready, you'll never move. If you wait until you feel motivated, you'll never start. You need to move first, and then the motivation will come. You need to understand something. The way you think is shaping your future right now. Every choice you make, every habit you develop, every belief you hold on to is either pushing you toward success or pulling you toward failure. There is no in between. You are either growing or you are staying the same. And staying the same is just another way of falling behind. So let me ask you, are you going to keep thinking like the masses? Are you going to keep waiting for things to change while doing nothing about it? Or are you going to take control of your mind, your habits, and your future? Because the truth is, most people will never change. They will keep making the same excuses, the same mistakes, the same decisions, and they will keep getting the same results. But you don't have to be like them. You can decide right now that you are done thinking small, that you are done letting fear control your decisions, that you are done waiting and watching while other people create the life you wish you had. The moment you change your mindset, everything else starts to change. Your actions change, your habits change, your results change, your life changes. But it all starts with a decision. The decision to stop thinking like everyone else. The decision to start thinking like a winner. The decision to take full responsibility for your life, your success, and your future. Because no one else is going to do it for you. No one else is going to save you. No one else is going to push you. That's your job. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you will start to see the life you've always wanted become a reality. It won't happen overnight. It won't be easy, but nothing worth having ever is. And once you break free from the loser mentality, once you train your mind to think like a winner, nothing will be able to stop you. Not fear, not doubt, not failure. Because when your mindset is strong, you become unstoppable. So, the question is, are you ready? Are you ready to rewire your mind for success? Are you ready to take control of your thoughts, your habits, your life? Because if you are, there's nothing in this world that can stop you. Number 2, success is earned, not entitled. Shift from expectation to execution. There is a big mistake that a lot of people make. A mistake that keeps them stuck, frustrated, and constantly wondering why life isn't going their way. And that mistake is expecting success instead of earning it. Too many people walk through life thinking they deserve something just because they want it. They think life owes them a break. They think success should come easily. They think that if they just show up, good things will happen. But let me tell you the truth. Success is earned, not entitled. Nobody gets a free ride to the top. It doesn't matter where you come from, what your background is, or how badly you want it. If you don't work for it, you don't get it. That's the rule. That's how life works. But the problem today is that too many people don't want to put in the effort. They want the reward without the struggle. They want the success without the sacrifice. They want the title, the money, the respect, but they don't want to do what it takes to deserve those things. And that's why they stay stuck. That's why nothing changes for them. Look around and you'll see it everywhere. People complaining about their job, but they never improve their skills. People blaming the economy, but they never change their habits. People waiting for the right time instead of getting started today. And these same people wonder why success never finds them. They sit there frustrated asking, why is life so unfair? But life is not unfair. Life is honest. Life gives you what you earn. Nothing more, nothing less. If you want to escape this trap, if you want to build the kind of life you dream about, you need to make a shift, a major shift. You need to stop expecting success and start executing for it. You need to stop sitting around waiting for opportunities and start creating them. You need to stop making excuses and start making progress. Because the truth is, nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to hand you a shortcut. Nobody is going to show up one day and say, hey, here's everything you ever wanted. That's not how it works. The people who succeed in life, the ones who break through, they don't wait, they work. They show up day after day, even when they don't feel like it. They do what needs to be done, even when nobody is watching. They don't waste time looking for easy ways out. They don't sit around waiting for motivation. They just do the work. That's why they win. That's why they get ahead. And if you want what they have, you have to do what they do. Now, I know what some people might be thinking, but I've been working hard and nothing's changing. And let me tell you something. You're not alone. Everyone who has ever succeeded has been in that exact spot. They've all felt stuck. They've all felt frustrated. But the difference is they kept going. Most people give up too soon. They put in a little effort, they don't see instant results, and they quit. And that's exactly why they never succeed. You have to understand that results don't come right away. Success is like planting seeds. You put in the work today, and maybe you see nothing tomorrow. Maybe you see nothing next week, maybe even next month. But if you keep watering those seeds, if you keep showing up, if you stay patient, one day you will wake up to a field full of results. But only if you earn it. Only if you put in the work consistently. And let's talk about consistency for a moment. Because this is what separates the winners from the losers. Everyone can work hard for a day. Everyone can feel motivated for a week. But very few people can stay committed for years. Very few people can keep going when they don't feel like it. Very few people can push through the moments of doubt, of boredom, of frustration. And that's why very few people succeed, because they don't stick with it long enough to earn the reward. Think about this. If success was given out for free, everyone would have it. Everyone would be rich, fit, happy, and successful. But they're not. Why? Because it takes more than just wanting it. It takes discipline. It takes commitment. It takes sacrifice. And that's where most people fail. They want success, but they're not willing to trade anything for it. They're not willing to give up bad habits. They're not willing to sacrifice comfort. They're not willing to push themselves. So they stay where they are. If you want to win in life, if you want to earn success, you need to become the kind of person who is willing to trade for it. You need to become someone who outworks everyone else. Someone who stays disciplined even when no one is watching. Someone who doesn't just talk about what they're going to do, but actually does it. Because at the end of the day, success doesn't come to the ones who talk. It comes to the ones who execute. Look at your own life right now. Be honest with yourself. Are you expecting success, or are you earning it? Are you putting in the effort every single day? Are you getting better? Are you taking action? Or are you waiting, hoping, expecting things to change on their own? Because they won't. Nothing will change until you change. You have to make a decision. A decision to stop blaming, stop waiting, stop expecting. A decision to take control of your future. A decision to outwork, outlearn, and outlast everyone else. Because that's the only way to win. Success is not a gift. It's not something that just happens to you. It's something you fight for, struggle for, work for. And if you don't earn it, you will never have it. So stop looking for shortcuts. Stop expecting things to be easy. Stop thinking that success should just happen. It won't. But if you put in the work, if you stay consistent, if you push yourself beyond what you thought was possible, you will win. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. But one day you will look back and realize that everything you wanted, you earned. And that, my friends, is the only way success is truly worth it. Number 3, losers blame circumstances. Winners adapt and overcome. There are 2 kinds of people in this world. Those who blame their circumstances and those who rise above them. And let me tell you something. The first group, the ones who blame, the ones who sit around pointing fingers at everything but themselves, they never win. They stay stuck, frustrated, and powerless. But the second group, the ones who take responsibility, the ones who say, I may not control everything, but I control my response, those are the ones who change their lives. Those are the ones who succeed. Take a look around and you'll see it everywhere. Some people go through life carrying a long list of excuses. I didn't get the right education. I wasn't born into the right family. The economy is bad. Nobody is helping me. And because of that mindset, they stay exactly where they are. But then there's another kind of person. The one who grew up with nothing, but found a way to make something. The one who faced every setback imaginable, but refused to quit. The one who had every reason to blame, but instead chose to build. And guess what? That person wins. That person grows. That person succeeds. Winners don't waste time complaining. They don't sit around waiting for perfect conditions. They don't let circumstances define them. They adapt, they adjust, they find a way forward no matter what. And that's exactly why they keep rising while everyone else stays stuck. Now, you might be thinking, but life is unfair. And you're right, life is unfair. Some people are born with advantages. Some people start off with more resources, more connections, more opportunities. That's reality. But what are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit around and complain? Are you going to waste your energy wishing things were different? Or are you going to get up and do something? Because let me tell you, winners don't have time to feel sorry for themselves. They don't sit in self-pity. They don't dwell on what they don't have. They take what they do have, no matter how small, and they use it to build something bigger. Every successful person you admire has faced obstacles. Every single one. Nobody gets a free ride. But the difference is in how they respond. The losers say, I can't do it because of my circumstances. The winners say, I will find a way, despite my circumstances. One person makes excuses, the other person finds solutions. One person quits, the other person adapts. And that single difference determines everything. Think about it. You've probably met people who have been dealt a tough hand in life, but they're doing incredible things. And you've also met people who had everything going for them, but they're still struggling. Why? Because it's not about circumstances. It's about mindset. It's about whether you choose to be a victim or a fighter, whether you choose to wait or take action, whether you let obstacles stop you or push you forward. And let me tell you something about obstacles. They are not the enemy. Most people think obstacles are there to stop them. But in reality, obstacles exist to test how badly you want something. They separate those who are serious from those who are just talking. Every time you hit a challenge, you have two choices. Give up or get stronger. That's it. And that choice over time determines your entire future. You want to know why some people always seem to find a way to win, no matter what happens? It's because they've trained themselves to be adaptable. They don't break under pressure. They adjust. They find another route. They refuse to let setbacks become permanent. They keep going no matter what. And because of that, they always end up ahead. Losers, on the other hand, make a habit of stopping. They stop when things get hard. They stop when they don't feel motivated. And because they keep they never get anywhere. They never build momentum. They never develop the resilience needed to win. And then they look around and blame everything but themselves. But here's the truth. Life does not reward people who wait for the perfect conditions. Life rewards those who get to work no matter what conditions they're in. Life rewards those who find a way forward, even when it's difficult. Life rewards those who refuse to be stopped. And maybe you're in a tough situation right now. Maybe things aren't going the way you planned. Maybe you feel stuck, but let me tell you something. You are not stuck. You are not trapped. You are not powerless. As long as you're breathing, as long as you have the ability to think, to move, to take action, you can change things. But you have to be willing to stop blaming and start adapting. You have to be willing to stop making excuses and start making adjustments, because the moment you do that, everything changes. Stop telling yourself that life is against you. Stop telling yourself that you can't succeed because of your circumstances. Start asking yourself, what can I do with what I have? Because that is the question that separates the winners from the losers. That is the question that will take you from where you are to where you want to be. And remember this, nobody is going to hand you success. Nobody is going to do the work for you. If you want it, you have to go and get it. If you want to change your life, you have to take control of it. You have to be the kind of person who refuses to be stopped no matter what. Because at the end of the day, your circumstances don't determine your future, your response to them does. So make the decision right now. Stop blaming. Stop waiting. Stop complaining. Start adapting. Start overcoming. Start building the kind of life that doesn't depend on perfect conditions but thrives in any condition. Because that is what winners do. And if you commit to that, if you make that your mindset, nothing will be able to stop you. Nothing. Number 4, the 1% rule. Small daily improvements lead to massive success. Most people dream about success, but very few understand what it truly takes. They think success is this giant leap, this big break that happens overnight. But that's not how it works. Real success isn't about one big moment. It's about what you do every single day. It's about the small choices, the small habits, and the small improvements that seem insignificant at first, but add up to something massive over time. That's the 1% rule. And if you can understand this, if you can apply this to your life, you will separate yourself from 99% of people who are stuck, frustrated, and wondering why nothing is changing. You see, most people want fast results. They want to lose weight in a week, get rich in a month, or master a skill in no time. And when it doesn't happen as quickly as they hoped, they quit. They give up because they think progress is too slow. And that's why they stay exactly where they are. But the people who truly win in life, the ones who achieve the kind of success that lasts, they don't chase overnight results. They understand the power of getting just 1% better every day. They know that even the smallest improvement repeated over time leads to incredible transformation. Think about it this way. If you improve just 1% each day, that might not seem like much. In fact, it might feel like nothing at all. But over time, those small gains start stacking up. And in a year, you won't just be a little better, you'll be 37 times better than you are today. That's the power of small, consistent improvement. But here's the problem. Because 1% improvement is so small, most people ignore it. They don't take it seriously. They don't realize that success isn't built in a day. It's built in the small, unseen moments when you choose to do a little more, learn a little more, and push yourself just a little harder. Let me tell you something important. If you're waiting for motivation, you're wasting time. Motivation is unreliable. Some days you'll feel like giving it your all, and other days you won't even want to get out of bed. That's why you can't depend on motivation. Instead, you have to depend on discipline. You have to depend on the small daily habits that move you forward, even when you don't feel like it. You might be thinking, but 1% improvement is so small. How can that possibly change my life? And that's the exact mindset that keeps people stuck. Because when you ignore small improvements, you miss out on the power of momentum. You don't see the compound effect of those small actions. Imagine two people trying to improve their fitness. One person works out for an hour, pushes themselves to the limit, and then doesn't do anything for the next 2 weeks because they're sore, exhausted, and overwhelmed. The other person, they just start with 10 minutes a day. Not much, just 10 minutes. But they do it every single day. And over time, they get stronger, they build the habit, and 6 months later, that second person is in incredible shape while the first person is still struggling to start. Why? Because they understood the power of small, consistent actions. Success works the same way in every area of life. If you want to become financially successful, you don't need to make $1 million overnight. You need to start saving, start investing, start learning how to manage money. If you want to improve your mindset, you don't need to completely change overnight. You need to start feeding your mind with the right information, start surrounding yourself with the right people, start replacing negative thoughts with powerful ones. It's not about massive changes, it's about small daily improvements. Now here's what most people do. They hear this, they get excited, and they start making improvements for a few days, but then because they don't see instant results, they stop. They convince themselves it's not working. They don't realize that progress is happening, even if they can't see it yet. Let me give you an example. If you put an ice cube in a room that's 25 degrees, nothing happens. You raise the temperature to 26, then 27, then 28, still nothing. It looks like no progress is being made. But when the temperature hits 32 degrees, suddenly the ice starts melting. Was it that last degree that caused the change? No. It was all the small temperature increases before it that built up to that moment. That's exactly how success works. You might not see the results right away, but every small improvement, every small action is building up. And one day, the results will show. But only if you keep going. Only if you stay consistent. Because that's where most people fail. They give up before the breakthrough happens. They stop right before their hard work starts to pay off, and that's why they never see the success they want. The 1% rule is simple, but it requires patience. It requires trust in the process. It requires the ability to keep going even when you don't see immediate results. Most people overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year. They think success should happen fast, and when it doesn't, they quit. But the winners, the people who truly make it, they understand that the small things they do every day matter more than the big things they do once in a while. So here's the question. Are you willing to commit to daily improvement, even if it feels slow? Are you willing to put in the work every single day, even when no one is watching? Because if you are, if you can just stay consistent, you will be unstoppable. It doesn't matter where you are right now. It doesn't matter how far behind you feel. The only thing that matters is whether or not you are willing to take action, no matter how small, every single day. And remember this, the person who improves by just 1% every day will always be ahead of the person who does nothing, waits for motivation, or gives up too soon. The choice is yours. Do you want to be stuck in the same place next year, or do you want to look back and see how far you've come? Because your future is being built right now, in the small choices you make every day. If you can commit to getting just a little better every day, you'll wake up and realize you've created a life most people only dream about. Number 5, no one respects a quitter. Build discipline or stay average. Nobody respects a quitter. Nobody looks up to the person who starts something, gets excited for a few days, then disappears when things get tough. Nobody admires the one who gives up at the first sign of struggle. The world doesn't reward excuses. It rewards discipline. It rewards the people who show up day after day, whether they feel like it or not. And that's the truth. Most people don't want to hear. They want to be successful. They want to live a great life. But when it's time to do the hard work, when it's time to push through discomfort, they walk away. They quit. And then they wonder why their life never changes. Discipline is the difference between the people who win and the people who stay average. You see it everywhere. The top athletes, the most successful business leaders, the highest achievers in any field, they all have one thing in common. They have discipline. They don't rely on motivation because they know motivation is temporary. Some days you feel inspired, some days you don't. But discipline, that's what keeps you moving forward, even on the days when you don't feel like it. That's what makes you different from everyone else. Most people start strong, but very few finish. That's why you see people jump from one thing to another, always looking for an easier way, always giving up when things don't go their way. They start a new business, and when they don't make money in a month, they quit. They start a workout routine, and when they don't see abs in 2 weeks, they quit. They start learning a skill, and when it feels frustrating, they quit. And every time they quit, they're training themselves to give up at the first sign of difficulty. That's why they never reach their goals. Not because they aren't smart enough, not because they aren't talented enough, but because they never stay long enough to see the results. If you quit every time things get hard, you will never achieve anything worthwhile. Every single person who has succeeded at something has had a moment where they wanted to quit. Every single one. But the difference is, they didn't. They pushed through when it was painful. They kept going when it was frustrating. And that's why they won. Not because they were special, not because they had some magic ability, but because they refused to quit. If you look around, you'll see that most people are stuck in an endless cycle of starting and quitting. They get excited about something new, they dive in, and then the moment they hit resistance, they back out. And then they start something else. And then they quit that too. Over and over again. And they never understand why they never succeed. They think it's bad luck. They think they just haven't found the right opportunity yet. But the truth is, they never built a